Hello everyone and welcome back. In the previous video we have explained how to work with the Firestore or Cloud Firestore database. Now we need to continue with the authentication system. Previously, we explained the authentication system using the Firebase UI, so we don't need to create the UI or write the code by ourselves, just very simple, like everything was built in. Now we need to create like a real authentication system, including user login, register, and also like the home page. But now we will write the code by ourselves using the Flutter and Firebase. So the UI in the already in the GitHub, so you can find it in the description. You can find the link to the GitHub, so you can find all the UI. So you can just use it and connect it with the Firebase, and then you can work with it. So the application will be like this, only the UI. So you have login. If you don't have account, you can just sign up, and this is the sign up here. Now there is no code, but just for explanation, I just make login. So if you just click on the login without anything, give you like authentic validation problem. If I write anything here like osama@gmail.com and here write something just for authenticate, just for validation, it's not working now, it's not connected with the Firebase, but just for example. After that we can go to the welcome, and so this is what I want to do, and when I click here in the logout will return back to the login page. That's it. So the application is like this. I think it's pretty simple, so it's nothing unique here, only the UI and some validation. So we have everything here. Now let's start to connect it. By the way, it's already connected to the Firebase, so we don't need to connect it again, but just I need to use auth. So here I need to use the authentication plugin, so Flutter, and then I can just say Flutter pub get. Flutter pub get. That's it. Now we finish. Add this. Now let's start with the initialize widget here. Stateful widget. Actually, we don't need stateful widget here. We need only stateless widget. So I will just convert this to the stateless widget. That's it. I need only the stateless widget. Now here I want to return the stream builder, because I want to check if the user logged in or not, authenticated or not. So this will be the stream. So I will just use stream builder in the home. In the stream builder we have the stream, and in the stream we will, first thing we need to create the Firebase authentication object. So I will just add it here, Firebase auth. That's it. Imported dot instance dot, not current user, but just I need to check here auth state change. So this will return the stream, tell us if the user authenticated or not. So it's change from login to logout or logout to login. Now we can see the change. Now depend on this we will build something in the builder. So if the user here we have context, of course we have snapshot, and here I need to check if snapshot has data. So which means if the snapshot has data, which means the user is already logged in, already the user has data change. So here I need to return home screen. We already create the UI of home screen. Otherwise, else if there is no data for the user, I have to return sign login. Now login screen, right, which is this one, login screen. Now if I check that, now there is no user in the database, so it will should return the login screen, as you can see, because the user is not logged in. So just go to the login, and from login of course we can go to the sign up. So now we can just start with the sign up. Here we only have the UI, so the first step, and also of course we have the name, we have email, we have password. Now we need to make a sign up. We can make it by function or just go back to go to the button. So first thing I want to create final, create the object and name it auth, of course, and then Firebase auth imported, and then dot instance. So now I have created the object. Now I need to use it where? First thing, when the user click on the sign up. Here just validation and just something like that. I don't care about that now. Now where's the user? Here, register. When the user click on the register, I need to do that. I need to make a register. So now async here, synchronous, and then I can say, for example, var user, it will return the user, equal what? From auth object dot, very simple. Now we need to create user, register. So here we have function create user with email and password. And of course we already activate the email and password. You know that we can from here and just activate it. So we have explained that before. Now we need to create user. So just use this function here, email and password. So the email from, I already have email here created privately, email controller dot text, and for the password also same thing, password controller dot text, which is where of course here I think you already know that here we have email and we have password, and those controllers has connected with the text form field for the email and for the password. But also we have the username, how we can add the username. Now we can add the username. The perfect way to do that is just add it in the Firestore in the database, because here we cannot add it directly here. So now finish. Here is just here I will say await, finish the sign up. After that I can just check here if user dot, so I can name it this here like user auth, and here I can say if user auth dot user is not null, not equal null, which means the user has already signed up here, register. Now I need to create another thing in the Firestore. I need to create the authentication system to the Firestore also. So we have also table in the database. So now first thing I need to get the ID of the user. So I can say UID equal from the user auth dot user dot UID. So we already have the UID. We can just find it here and just add the nullsivity. Then we can just insert it in the Firestore. Now I will just install the package for the Firestore as well. In the previous lecture, how to create a Cloud Firestore, and it will be very simple. And the Flutter pubget. That's it, finish. Now I will just use the Firestore here, so I can just say also await, after finish, await firebase firestore dot instance dot collection, and I will create a new collection called users, for example, dot here I can say, before I said add automatically will generate the ID, but here the problem is what? Here I don't need to add the ID directly from generate the ID automatically, random ID, but I need the ID of the user here that have created here in the authentication system. So here I can say doc, the document, and in the document I will add the ID. So in the specific ID, which is here, the user ID from authenticator system. And now I cannot say add, because just add a new one with the random ID. But here I need just to update, so just add set here. And same thing, set what I need just as a JSON. I can add anything I want. So here, for example, I can say first thing we have like email. So the email will be also email controller dot text, same thing. It will be the same idea, and the name from here, name controller dot text. So now in this example you can add anything. For example, you have user, you need to add the age of the user, you need to add the salary, you need to add like birth date, address or phone number, anything. Just in the authentication system you can only add email and password, and also you can add display name, but this is the way to make authentication system. But if you want to add more, you can just simply create another one in the Firestore, in the Fire database, and you can add whatever you want, anything you want. So I can say here navigator dot push replacement to replace the home screen as a registered user. Now go to the sign up. As you can see here, there's nothing. There's no users here. Now we need to register new one. I will name it Osama and email osama@gmail.com and password, for example. Register. Now we need to wait something. We need of course to add progress indicator. Now go to the welcome Osama. If I refresh here in the authentication, you can see Osama here. Also, if I go to the Firestore database, I should see the users, and in the users also we have Osama. So here we have users table or users connection, and inside it we have Osama. This I have created before, but now we have Osama and osama@gmail.com and the name. Now you can see that we just wait and then go to the next page. We don't need to do that. We need just to make indicator, progress indicator. So it's very simple. Here we can just create boolean, and the boolean I will name it is loading, and initially would be false. So it's false, now loading. Now when I want to start the loading, of course when the user press on the register. So user press in the register here, I will to change it, but of course with the set state, and then because I need to change the UI, and then is loading equal true. Now it will be true. After that, before I go to the next page here, I need to make it false again. So set state is loading equal false. Hope it is understood. Here I just create one automatically by default will be false, not loading. But whenever the user press on the register button, I need to make it true and set state to change to make a refresh, and then true, which means it will be loading. After that, after finish everything, before I go to the home screen, just make it false again. Now I can add it somewhere. For example, I will add it here instead of the register text. I mean in the register text. So I can say here in the register, if is loading without anything, which means true. If it is true, give me in the center. I don't need center, just give me circular progress indicator. Else just give me the register. But here I would just change the color. Color will be white. Colors dot white, for example. Now you can see that letter. Now we need just to make a logout in the home. Now I am here in the home because I have already logged in. So I'm in the home. Now I need to go to the home and click on the here to go to the logout. So now if we go to the home, we have already have home. You can see in the icon here we have logout. So just a thing, just same thing. I will just say await here, and also firebase auth dot instance dot just sign out. Simple like that, and the user will be signed out directly by this one. Also we can say navigator.go and go back to the login. Now we need just to try that. Now if I click here, directly go to the login. Why directly go to the login without navigation? Because I have already said that here in the main. I say if there is a data, if user change authentication to stream. So always listen to the data. If user authenticated, go to the home screen. If not authenticated, go to the login screen. So automatically we'll go to the login screen. We don't need to say navigation dot. Also here, now I need again also to check. Go to the sign up. I'll try again. Ahmed, for example, and 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and now register. Now you can see loading. After finish, we will go to the home screen. Now same thing for the login. Nothing will be different, just this here I will add it in the login. Now we can go to the login, and also we have everything. We can just make a Firestore. We just need Firebase auth, not Firestore. So I can just say here is loading initially, and then when the user press on the login, here. Now I just make it go to the home screen, but now I will, before go to the home screen, I need to make a sync, and here set a state, and is loading will become true, set. And then if it is validate, we need just to use same thing, await, then firebase auth dot instance dot, before we say create user by email and password, now we just use sign in with email and password, and same thing, only we have email, and it will be email controller dot text, and password will be password controller dot text. You can see here we have sign in. Here we didn't have object, so we just write it again and sign in with username and password. In the sign up, same thing here, but just use this function, only this is the different here. After that, just we don't need to register anything, the user already registered, so we don't need to go to the Firestore, for example. So just here like this, and then I can say automatically we'll go to the navigation, but before that I need just to say set state, and the is loading equal false again, equal false, and then go to the home screen after login. And here also I can add the I'll check is loading true, make the circle progress indicator, otherwise login. So now we should try that also and register. We have already with the Osama. Now I will say log out. Now in the sign in, I have Osama at gmail.com, and here this one login. I already have this one because, so now also make a login successfully without any problem. Now here with the Firestore, we can go to the rules since we have the authentication system. So in the rules we can change it, and we can just make it like this, read and write, and you can just say here instead of false or true, I just say like this, if request.auth.uid not null, which means only authenticated user can read and write from the database. So when I say read and write, read which means display the data, and write which means add new data. So only authenticate user, only the user who logged in. So you can just do it in this way. Hope you understand that, and thank you very much.